the silly season. Hello and welcome to, I suppose, a Christmas special of the Inventor's Laser Lab. So today what we're going to do, we're going to do a Christmas scene. We're going to etch it into wood. Now we're going to do two different scenes. Now this particular one has been dithered. I've taken this photograph or picture. I've taken it off the internet, straight out of Google, and put it into Photoshop, and I have dithered this picture to first of all it was color, so I changed it to grayscale, black and white, and then I changed it to a bitmap dithered high resolution. This is 600 dots per inch, or DPI. Now this one, again, it was a color picture, and I've changed it to grayscale, and I've saved it as a high resolution black and white picture. Now what we're going to do in this session is to find out what's the difference, what the laser is going to do, and what the difference is, and the end product is going to be between a dithered picture and a grayscale picture. And this is just light etching. It's not 3D carving at all. That is something totally different. So that's what we're going to do. I'd also like to answer one question which a number of you have wrote in and asked me regarding, I think, the last video where I showed you that that grayscale or dithered swash or test card that I cut, and in the deepest black square, a number of you have said to me that the lines, the hair lines that you could see, were a lot smaller than the dot size of, or the laser beam size of 0.2 millimeters. Well, I'll show you why that is, just very quickly. Now, this is the shape. I'll make it a bit bigger, but it comes pixely. This is the actual shape of the laser beam itself. It's not a square beam on the end. This is what is called a Gaussian shape. So where you see the dark red in the top here, this is the hottest and most concentrated energy of the beam, and of course it goes it lessens then, or decreases, as the beam size sort of tails out. The actual beam diameter it's 0.2 millimeters from here to here. So as the beam is traveling at 400 millimeters per second, it is only really using this end cone part of the beam. Now this could be as little as 0.01 or less, because this is 0.2. So, you know, I can't tell you exactly, but I'll see if I can get the exact information. So it will act just like I suppose you know, sort of a very sharp needle. So that is the rough explanation. The laser beam doesn't get time to go in deep and use a wider part of the beam. So we'll look at that in detail in other videos later down the track. We don't want to go too deep and too technical into that. Okay, so I put the picture into laser cut, and it looks as though it's snowing very hard. It'd be interesting to see actually how this comes out. So I've just sized the picture, which I think by now you all know how to do that. So what I want to do now is just get a square and just come to about here and bring it down to approximately, you don't have to be exact with this, and we're going to put that on a blue layer. So why we put it onto different layers is because we need to set the laser power and feed rate at different levels, plus it's two different jobs, and I'll show you what I'm going to do about that now. So over here we're going to do the black layer, which is the actual dithered picture. So we're going to say we want to engrave that. Now we want to check the settings. Now this should be fine for wood, because we want to not exactly just etch it away. With this laser, I'm finding that it will remove wood, then the top layer of wood, and it won't leave a burn behind. It just doesn't. It doesn't leave black material behind at the lower settings. So you have to raise the settings up and get it hotter, a stronger beam, to be able to make it go brown. So at this level it should be fine. 400. I suppose I could slow the feed rate down as well to achieve that, but you know, it's all about getting the job done as efficiently as you can, and that's where this machine comes in. So we're going to press OK and let that calculate, it's done. Now the cut layer. Now I've actually forgotten what the setting should be, so actually what I did, and I keep these handy here, this particular plywood, what I did, I cut out quite a number, about 10 different squares at different power levels, and you'll see, well, this is burnt black, and they get lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter all the way up to here. And I wrote on each one what the settings were. Now I'll take the extremes. Okay. So there we go. This darkened one, this one here, and you can see it's, you know, sort of overburn on the back as well. It's really, really too hot. So it was 6 millimeters a second, and it was 85%, which is 100 watts, and it was 11 millimeters off the surface. I was actually trying different different sort of distances as well, getting it in focus. I was doing it manually. This one here, it's a good cut. You can actually see the wood is slightly, it's always going to be slightly darker than the original wood, and 24 millimeters a second, and 85 and 9.5, which is the exact right distance off the of the material. So that's how I found, you know, where to go with it. So now we will set that. I want to make sure that it does go through, and I was getting good success at actually 22, 90, and we're going to put 85 here. 85, blow in, and we're going to press OK. And now I'm going to send that to the machine. And look at that. It is actually like a photograph in wood. And I think you can detect the lack of burning. Now that is, I suppose, a nice problem to have with this machine. Now, see if we can get the light right here for you guys to see. Okay, so there it is. I've given it a scrub with the brush and the water, dried it off, and that's the end result. What I'm discovering more and more is it's not entirely the setting up of the program or even creating the picture. That's only part of it. The other part of achieving a good result is the quality of the machine. You just won't achieve this type of result. I mean, you can see it's actually made nearly a 3D image of it. It's a very, very light 3D, and what it's actually done, and this is plywood, and that's another thing too. Look at the quality of cut. What it's actually done, it's etched away the top light colored layer, that layer there, to reveal the darker layer underneath without burning. That's the quality of the machine. It's a professional machine. Okay, so that's the dithered image. Do you know, I don't think I'm even going to bother with the grayscale, because this is proving to me that for this type of work, there's no need to go to grayscale unless you want a deep 3D where the grayscale image is actually a three-dimensional scanned image. It's not created in any program as such. Well, I'm really pleased with that. So what I'm actually going to do now, I've decided, is going to make a little Christmas decoration, possibly a Christmas card. We'll just have to see when we fire the machine up next.